The first question is going to be going to John. How can local youth align their initiatives with both the global SDGs and Africa's Agenda 2063 to address community-specific challenges?
Thank you very much for this question. When we talk about local initiative, of course, it is our priorities are our needs and gaps, right? So at a very micro scale, but it goes to affect the global level, right? So that brings me to what we can do best in our schools, in our community. Let's just believe in the little thing that we can do to change our life. That is the essence of contributing toward the global good. If we don't have water at the local level, we see, okay, how can we get the better water? How can we get, and empower the young people in the local area? So it can start with one person, but that initiative alone, it is what is put in a very big language in those policies of the SDGs or the African Union Agenda 2063.
In your view, what practical pathways can be established to enable adolescents and young people at the local level to translate their innovative ideas into sustainable actions that directly contribute to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals and aspirations of Agenda 2063? Meaning, what can young people do and what can the girls in this room do to achieve that?
Thank you, Jerry. So as I mentioned earlier, from my own journey, starting as an ego and advancing my leadership to ego sister, I believe that mentoring is a key and it fills the gap between our ideas and actions. So from doing that, us sitting here speaks more about how we are ready about Africa's future as well, right? So I believe that practical pathways are, for example, if we start with youth-led innovation hubs and create adolescent girls to, develop their ideas into projects and to let that project be successful, it will mean a lot. And the second one is we also need a micro grant, which helps the pilot projects develop into actual idea and work with it. And when we do that, us adolescent girls can have a lot of ideas which we're gonna share here, and by doing that we can create an amazing community here and develop it into projects and make it successful as well.
Next, I'm going to be going to Timur. So Timur, as a young woman creating real change, what personal experiences or turning points have shaped the way you see your role in driving equality and opportunity for others?
Honestly speaking, there was not a specific day that I would call a turning point for me, but growing up, I had the courage to speak out, to move here and there, to do whatever I want, however I wanted it to do it. And so after a couple of years growing up, I started seeing not everyone has the chance of speaking out, not everyone has the chance to go and learn, not everyone has the opportunity that I have been given because of my environment or my family or anything. So that day I started to be voice for the voiceless. So as we all know, Model Africa Union Ethiopia works on youth and women advocacy. So I've been working as women and youth advocate to be voice for the voiceless and also to amplify the voice of the youth and women, women who are fighting for their lives, women who are being sexually abused, women who lack education, and also the youth who wants to work hard but has no environment of working and so many things. So my path started in the process of observing and looking into our environment. We can see how so many young people fight for their lives, especially now since we have so many regions in war and everything. The youth suffers a lot. And as a youth who has the advantage of going to school, learning properly, getting an advanced education and everything, I believed that I could be voice for the voiceless.
Next, I'm going to be going back to John. So, how can we ensure that youth-led actions remain inclusive, benefiting marginalized groups and addressing intersectional challenges, climate, gender, and inequality?
Yes, the intersection of the thing, I believe it needs to start from understanding our problem, understanding our priorities. Because if you look at the word marginalized community, the marginalized community may vary from community to community. You might find maybe a society that doesn't have more young people, the elderly become a marginalized people. Like Italy is a very old country. A lot of, like 80% are elderly, right? So they need different care. So if you come to maybe our context in the continent, you may find young people, women lack opportunities and they suffer from abuse and so on. In other communities, you may find people that are displaced. Immediately they are marginalized because now you are displaced from your place to another area where you now become a minority group in that place. Why I said that it has to start from identifying the challenge in the community. So you start from who are the marginalized community, what do they need, and what can I do as an individual? You never know what tomorrow will turn to. But you said, what should I do as a person? Even at your school, you see there are a lot of things, but you said, okay, can we come together and do this? Even cleaning. How many of you clean the school with their own effort without you being told, please, today is a cleaning day, right? So that is a sense of responsibility. You don't wait until the headmaster say today is a cleaning day, we need to stop class and go and clean. No, you ask your colleague and you go out and clean, right? So that comes to how do we address these intersectional issues like gender, like climate change, the issue of inequalities and abuse that we live in. It's about, okay, we identify one thing as a challenge in our community and we, mobilize resources, we see who can advise us better. Yes, the major purpose of this event is to celebrate the International Youth Day, which is 12th of August, and it is celebrated every year. And also, we took this opportunity also to invite the adolescent girls also to be part. Young people have the capacity and have the opportunity also to, to serve the community. So it is to remark the success, the effort of the young people, and also the work that the Model African Union Ethiopia is doing in mobilizing young people, because it is a platform that teaches policies, it teaches diplomacy, it teaches young people to network with policymakers, and also to understand Agenda 2063 and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So it is a day of commemoration for us and for the young people who attended this meeting today.
So the main purpose of this event is to empower women and to let them know that they are able to do whatever they desire to do.
For the main purpose of the event is called the Adolescent Girls Movement, and in its name it mentions that it's about adolescent girls. So the main idea is to create safe spaces where girls, or in more definition, adolescent girls, girls living in different communities, can gather and discuss about several issues. It could be about equal pay grade for women, it could be about confidence, it could be about public speaking, and it could be about sharing their ideas. But the main idea is to gather different girls and to give them resources and hubs where they can create different ideas.
For us to create peaceful environment and society, we need to strengthen the young people, in which adolescent girls are part of the wider young people. So by empowering them, giving them opportunity to identify themselves, to know that they also have opportunity to play in the society's development. So it is a good platform to bring them on board and also to understand that they have a role to play, but also to advocate for women's rights, to advocate for women being part of the society, and all the social vices that turn against women. We are calling out all those bad behaviors and those social vices. We are trying to avoid them. We are trying to give women opportunities The young girls also have, opportunity to learn, to be policymakers, to be the decision makers, and also to be in a leadership, to make decisions for our society. So we are giving them an opportunity to imagine themselves as part of the society, which are responsible, and also understand the challenges that we are confronting today. And those challenges, it could be at the community level, it could be at the national level, it could be also at the continental level. So we are trying to create that linkage where we bring also policies like the Agenda 2063, we bring in the UN SDGs in a simple manner, because those are terminology that are big, but we are trying to simplify them so that they can grasp the idea. They go back to their schools or high school or universities, and they will be part of their, motive to go out and also serve humanity and also serve society. So in the long run, it also helps in building the Africa we want.
Adolescent girls have such a big impact, number one, because of demography and because of population. As we know, adolescent girls are more than half of the population of Africa, right? The population of Africa is not only dominated by women, but it's dominated by young women, girls, adolescent girls. So their impact is so useful, number one, because they have fresh ideas. And number two, because they are an unused resource in Africa. We are mainly sometimes undermined for our abilities, but technically it's 2025 now, and we know that we are gaining more insight and we are gaining more equality, but adolescent girls are such an important sector because we need to create equal opportunities for them, and we need to create awareness on some of the issues that are being faced by these girls, because there are girls living in rural areas who are facing different issues, not only because they don't have basic needs, but because they don't have the access to education. So we need to work on them and enhance their abilities.
So during the panel discussion, we have discussed about how the policymakers or like the stakeholders should include youth in all decision-making processes, and also we have discussed about women and the role they play in the society, in the continent, and totally in the world. And we've had so many controversies between us and also the participants, but it was quite a good panel.
Yes, the panel has three aspects. The one is on the policy aspect, and also there is other aspect on how women can also strengthen themselves in a way that they can also provide to community. The panel addressed key issues and then the barriers toward women leadership, the barriers that also affect the women in general. So it was open discussion on how we can address those challenges in the next 10 years. So we give them a period of thinking on how they can be also part of the solution. Because there are always challenges, but how can we see opportunities around those challenges? And what came out also was my reflection is to understand we all human and we have this humanity that unites us. So, building alliance around that will make us to provide, for marginalized community, provide for the young people and women who don't have opportunities. It will help us to go out of our comfort to deliver to the society. So, we want to see as part of this society where we also have a responsibility to serve those challenges, So, aspect of inequalities, they are present in our society, but how do we address those inequalities systematically in a way that we also understand the solution we provide should be sustainable in a way that it gives young people, it gives women, it gives marginalized community an opportunity also to see themselves. There is also intersectional aspect that we discuss about, like climate change, discuss about education, we discuss about leadership, and those are very important for young people to grow, for them also to understand that they need to take one step at a time, and above all, we promote collaboration among themselves, which also shows strengths. There is a strength in numbers. So we encourage them to work together and share their ideas. And the Model African Union is providing the platform for these young people to engage and across the board, not only on Agenda 2063 matters, but also on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And this is a platform that we appreciate its roles, and we hope it will grow even more.
The panel discussion, the main topic for the panel discussion was the role of youth in localizing the UN SDGs, Agenda 2063, and 1 million next level. So the main idea of today's panel was basically on how we can localize some of the worldwide topics, meaning the Agenda 2063, it's the 50-year plan for Africa to grow. It covers climate change, it covers gender equality, it covers education. And we have 1 million next level, also a big initiative. And we also have the biggest initiative for the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So the main idea was, how can the youth interpret these big ideas into their day-to-day lives? How can we incorporate these big things into small things that we need daily? So the idea was, what can you do with these big ideas? So we were trying to tell the other girls and the people in the room what they can do as the younger generation with big ideas, because they can begin small and they can begin from home to create change, right?
The Adolescent Girls Movement, you have seen how the young girls are like brave enough to speak about whatever they want to say, and overall this movement is about enabling women to be a stakeholder, enabling women to speak out for herself, and most importantly to bring women out of the cage that they're in, especially because of stereotypes, cultures, and so many things that hold them back. But the main purpose of the Adolescent Girls Movement is to enable women into action and to make women part of decision making and also part of the power.
The girls' feedback was so amazing because obviously during the morning they're still, they woke up bright and early, so they're still tired, they don't know what to expect. But after spending a whole morning with us and after the panel discussion, they began to open up, they began to show initiative, they began to ask questions, and they began to show their frustrations in terms of what they're facing in the society. They began to ask questions like, why are we being affected? How can we bring change? How can we begin from our household? So they began to show us their real sides after they began being comfortable, because that's the main idea for the Adolescent Girls Movement. We want to create a safe and comfortable safe space so the girls can speak freely and share their ideas.
The last message, I just want to say Happy International Youth Day. It is our day, we need to celebrate it, we need to reflect on ourselves, on what we can do for our society. But whatever we do, let's think humanity first, let's think our communities, let's think Africa. And with that, we can ensure that by 2063, we achieve the Africa we want. Thank you very much.
If there's anything I would add, it would be work hard, show an effort. Remember that initiative makes a difference, because there's a difference between wanting something and waiting for something. If you want something, you need to show desire, you need to show precision, you need to show resilience in terms of you need to stand up and work hard for what you believe in. And there is a controversy that says if you're part of the younger generation, wait for your chance, wait for your opportunity. But an opportunity is not going to come at the front door of your doorstep. It's not going to knock on your door. An opportunity is something that you look for by yourself. So go out into the community, be active, use your social media for good purposes, and also try to enhance your voice. That's the main thing I would say. I would say try your best and work hard and work smart as well. That's what I would say.
The main point I would want to add for youth and women generally is for them to be a driving force, not to be driven by any power or by any stakeholders. And also the other message I would like to transfer for the youth and women is not to get caught up with Western culture or like Western influenced things, that would make us lose our culture, our identity, and what we came for. And the other thing that I would want to say for the youth and women is to work hard towards their goal. Like, never give up. There might be so many battles and so many obstacles that we might face, but we should focus on our passion and on our goal, and we should never give up.
There was one thing I would say to the younger generation and to my fellow friends. It would be not only to work hard, but to look for opportunities. Don't wait for the opportunity to knock at your door. You need to be the change you want to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi said this for a reason, and it is such an important message because we need to be the change we want to see in the world in a sense of working hard and working smart. Don't wait for opportunities, open your voice and be loud, share your ideas. So make change, and thank you.
like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion, like how a single word can make your heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. And all those things I didn't say, wrecking balls inside my brain. I will scream them loud tonight. Can you hear my voice? This time this is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I still got a lot of fight left in me. Thank you.
We have a short question and answer. So it's going to be famous questions about women or famous questions about youth. Each person that answers the question gets a gift. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. So it's going to be only 3 questions. So please make sure to be competitive and to answer them, okay? Okay. Okay. So the first one is going to be, she was the first woman to win a Nobel Peace Prize and is famous for her work on radioactivity. Do you guys know who she is? Does anybody know? Let me go here. Who's she?
Mary Curie.
Said Maria Curie. That's correct. So can I get your name? Aiden. So Lena, write Aiden, yeah. This Ethiopian long-distance runner won gold at the 2000 Sydney Olympics and inspired many young girls in sports. She's a famous runner in Ethiopia, and she is a female. So you guys can start guessing female famous runners in Ethiopia. Any guesses? Any guesses? Okay.
Deratu Tulu.
That is correct. Deratu Tulu. Can I get your name? Edilawit. Okay, Edilawit Soli. Okay, our last question. This is the last gift up for grabs. Everybody open your ears. This American woman refused to give up her bus seat in 1955, sparking the US civil rights movement. Ready? Does anybody know this? Let me go here.
Rosa Parks.
Yeah, it is Rosa Parks. What's your name? Roots. Okay, Solana Roots. So thank you everyone. That was our Q&A.